What's up, guys? Killer back with another Empires and Poses video. And today we're getting back to basics. Recently I've had a lot of questions from new, I guess, members or new people to the game, new people following the channel, the Killer Nation. A lot of people have been reaching out asking what to do with certain things as far as like dealing with your gameplay, how to best improve your gameplay and stuff like that. And I think it just comes back to the fundamentals and the basics. So we're getting back to basics and we'll go over the stuff. Number one, as you see, I got it listed 1 through 5. It's only about 5 things really in this game that, like, to me, that highlight the gameplay. The rest is strategy and different stuff like that and how you want to play. But number one, you got to start with your base and buildings. Strongholds up to 24 now. Your storages and some of the other random bases are up to 10. Your house is up to 10. Food storage 10. Iron storage 10. You've got your farms at 10. You've got your mines at 10. You know, these things right here is what makes the gameplay go to the next level. I've noticed a lot of high-end players who've got stupid amounts of money into 5 stars, and you know you're approaching that 20 and 35-star range, but you don't have your base completed. This is holding you back. At the end of your base building, this base right here, troop at the barracks at 10, that's really important. Barracks needs to be up, and we'll get into that later. Probably more important than the barracks is the forge. You got to have a forge at 10. And then training at a training camp at 20. At the end of your gameplay, at the end of your base building, these are the 3 buildings right here that if you don't have them maxed, will hold you back for the next step in the gameplay. Alchemy Lab at 10, and you know I've got the Hunter's Lodge at 10. Alchemy Lab has come in handy a little bit more than my Hunter's Lodge. Hunter's Lodge is more for the Titans. That's not really where my gameplay is strong right now, but very important base if you're trying to, like, you know, get that. If your alliance are trying to break that Titan you know, cap, that base is really important there. If you're trying to break your hero cap, this base can be important. Alchemy Lab 10 I recommend, possibly 9. And then after that, mainly the free ones, probably through here, 1 through 5. I think 8 might be the last one, but 10, 9, and then maybe some of the free ones if you kind of want to play around to just get your Alka shards up. But then the reason I say 10 is because what happens, I've noticed in a lot of players at late gameplay, they'll have more D-Blades than Tomes, or they'll have a majority. Let's say like you had, I don't know, out of your 25-star heroes, you have 10 greens, and then you still have 12 tonics or something like that. Maybe you want to start working on another color. You know, this is where the Alchemy Lab has benefited me. I was at one point had 11 or 13 D-Blades, and I had 4 Tomes, or 5 Tomes it was. Evening out the Tomes and D-Blades and moving the mats around out of the elements, the ones that you need 6 of, really important. D-Blades and Tomes, you only need 1 per ascension for a 5-star. So moving these guys around to different places was really, really important. That's why this one right here has helped me out a lot. In the Hunter's Lodge, the harpoons, those are a given. Like they add defensive down to a stun. For the Titan, it's really strong there. Use them. I hear the titanium shield, that's been kind of interesting with people. And then I think these are the ones with the reflect, no target. Damage dispel, like that could come in handy. Where's the one? Increase defense. I'm trying to see. And then the scroll of alteration. I heard that's pretty awesome. I have not yet used it. I have them, I just haven't used them. I think Scroll of Alteration, I think it's the shield, because this has the reflect, yeah, and then the harpoons. Those are the top ones I would recommend for the Hunter's Lodge to help you in your late gameplay. But don't think we're not going to go over the forge. A lot of you guys are getting stuck on places, and you're worried about your heroes and stuff like that, but you guys don't even have Dragon Attacks, Super Mana Pots, Time Stops, Tornadoes, or Miracle Scrolls. Miracle Scrolls have saved me on gameplay from just bringing back my team when I was almost dead. And then you can heal back up with maybe you had a healer on the team that died. This right here will take a 3-star team or 4-star team a long way in this game in the hard modes that not having 5 stars will help with. Tornado I love personally, but changing my views on them a little bit. Super Mana Pots have come in handy a bunch of times, especially when it comes to the event and coming to bosses that you just have to have that special for. Time Stops is one of the best PvE devices in the game. It stops the mana completely from the opposite enemy team, and then it gives you another 3 attacks, I believe. Something crazy like that. Time Stops is awesome. So and Dragon Attacks, that's another one. It's one of the harder hitting ones. I didn't realize Dragon Attacks actually hit. They hit for 400 damage. So this is another one. When you get into these higher level, these last 5, this is the stuff that separates you also from that next level in the gameplay. The forge is really important. So base building is definitely where it's at. Another thing is your iron and ham are so important as far as building the rest of this base. Iron storage would be the first one I'd recommend. Iron storage over everything. That's the first thing you build for the advances in for regular. Like if you're just starting off at level 1, build your iron storage up. You can have your farms and your mines running at level 1 as long as your iron storage up. You can keep capping and building up. Versus the farm can get capped at advanced 10 and you don't have the storage for it. And guess what? You will be wasting hams every time you pull from it. So, not that the game's designed that bad for it. You do have to do your iron storage first. After that, food storage. Food storage does troops, hero building, and items as well. And sometimes you need a combination of both. So your food storage definitely is second. Your iron storage is first because iron will get you capped off on your stronghold and everything else. Food is second because food does all your secondary stuff, which is like your heroes, troops, and items. We got the house. The house is kind of cool because it's starting to add troops. I never run out of troops anymore due to this house. So, recruits. The house, I think the cap on the recruits is like 102. So I never run out. That's one thing. Another thing that people forget, okay, and I said food and iron storage up first. The watchtower is food and iron storage. It's 4 times the amount of the max. I want to say it's 4 times the amount of the max food storage that you have, or either the building. I think it was capped at 20. Like if you had a 20 iron storage like this one, this at level 20 is 4 times this. I think that math is still correct. Don't quote me on that, but I do know that the watchtower does hold food and holds iron for you. So like as you can see, I have a cap of 86k right here. Or no, excuse me, 186k, and the food is at 148k. No, 86k here, and then it has 184k there for food. Let me see what we got here. All right, so it doesn't show me my capacity. Oh no, there you go. Capacity 456. So maybe it's something different. I don't know. I know the watchtower is important. It does add food and storage to it, and I got my numbers wrong, but I'll figure it out. I'll fix that later in another video. But that's the base, and that's why that's so important, guys. Get your base up. Your base will help you tremendously. Next, for number 2, is heroes. So, we have talked about heroes to death, and that's the main thing that gets talked about in this game, but it's not number 1, it is number 2. Your base is more important than your heroes because your base is only going to support your heroes, and if you're free to play, your base makes you a better free to play player. So this is why heroes is second. You have plenty of heroes. I have plenty of heroes, you have plenty of heroes. Maybe you don't have as many as me, but you've got plenty of them. So this is kind of just a crazy amount of heroes. So clearly, first thing to tell is you're going to start off with 1 stars and go to 2 stars and 3 stars, 4 stars, and 5 possibly, if you get lucky to pull a 5 or build a 5. Your 1 stars and 2 stars are your feeders. Your 3 stars you do need to keep. A lot of people ask that all the time. I just feed my 3 stars away. I feed my 3 stars away. Recently just got the tavern or legend, the tavern legend or legendary tavern, whatever it's called. and basically bring back the old heroes. But you did need multiple teams. This is where we're getting back to basics. My biggest thing when I tell people about heroes is 30 of each. You need 33 stars, 34 stars, and 35 stars. That number has probably quadrupled for people that have been with me since I started, and it has quadrupled for me or gone crazy. I have a lot of them. And what I mean by 30 of each, the core 90 is what I call it. It's because 30 plus 30 plus 30 is 90. So the core 90, which is 30 max 3 stars, 30 max 4 stars, and 30 max 5 stars. What this does for you is it gives you 6 teams in wars off the rip. As soon as you get to 30 sets of heroes, you have 6 teams in wars. Max 30 sets for 6 teams in wars. So that's the core. That would be the core. That would just be 30. But then getting into where the 3 stars take off. So for instance, this is my 3-star range right here. So this right here is about 15 minus John F. And then for instance, this is another 15. So that would be 30. And then of course I have another set, and that would be 45. And then roughly, let's see, roughly a little less than 45. Maybe about, well, these two. Yeah, maybe about 53 stars. So I have about 53 stars. And you might think that's overkill, but new guys come out, and I love leveling 3 stars. 3-star game is probably the funnest game to me in Empires and Puzzles. Yes, you need to keep them for events. Yes, you need to keep them for tournaments. And yes, you need to keep them for the Legend of Taverns or Tavern Legends, whichever one that's going to be. Also, it adds family bonus to the heroes. Like, for instance, I believe I can say this, outside of the Season 2, the only family bonus that has multiple 3 stars in it, I believe, is going to be the Sands. And I'm going to say it's just going to be the Sands. Yeah, just going to be the Sands. So, for instance, on your 3-star team now, the Sands are about to get a bonus of whatever it is. I think it's on Rock on my Discord channel. And they'll be together. So you could run potentially a 5 set of all the Sands heroes with that bonus, and they would have at least 2 of the bonus on all 5 of them, because you do need multiple heroes. If they release a 3rd person, now they have 3 tiers of that Sands bonus for the 3 stars. Same with this with the 3 stars for Season 2. And then also the bonus for Season 3 as well with the realm bonuses. So, like, for instance, you can run all Boros or all Caspheres or Beekeeper, and what will happen is that bonus will apply to everybody on the board that's of the same family. So just kind of some different things there. 4 stars are very important because these are the people that support your you're getting into that core 35 stars. You have the epic events. Epic heroes are very big. It's not my favorite part of the game. I do not like 4 stars. It's probably my weakest part of my game, and that's probably why. Not that I don't have them. I just don't level them and don't understand them quite as good as I do my 5 stars and my 3 stars. And it's not from a lack of knowledge. It's just maybe synergy and playing with them together. You get better 4-star synergy playing with higher in alliances, trying to compete when you only have 20 or 15 5 stars. I was at that point, but I was mixing and matching, and then just went to a 5-star meta. It's a lot of power in 4-star. You definitely want to keep these guys, and you definitely want to keep them for tricks that your 5 stars don't have yet. Like, for instance, Jackal and Falcon come to mind for the shield down for yellow and the shield down for red. Wilbur comes to mind for the defensive down to all and the share damage, and defensive up to all and share damage for you. Buddy comes to mind for minions. He's probably one of the first minion heroes I had that I didn't know. Boomer for the yellow shield. You've got Merlin, Peter, and you have Hansel and Gretel that all have mind control, or have mana control as they would call it in the game. These heroes are actually going to be beneficial for you going to war, because you might have a strong enough team to beat the team, but you might have enough tricks to beat the team. Hansel and Peter go great together. They control 2. The specials won't go off, won't kill you. Gretel as well. Merlin as well if you can keep them alive. Stuff like that. Another 4-star that people have overlooked now, because we have Mickey Tarlac, and we have Ranveer, and we have I guess you'd consider the Squirrel one, and then Guardian Gazelle. But Wukong is one of the 4 stars that is on your team still if you do not have a buff hitter for Titans. And what I mean by that is Tarlac, Mickey, and Gazelle, and even Ranveer, they add that attack power to your team for the whole board. Wukong is definitely one of those. Keep a Wukong. Wukong is coming up. Wukong can actually take you to the top. He's one of the better 4 stars that people sleep on, but he's always going to be talked about and always going to be a crazy guy. And this is where your epic heroes will come into play. I guess we'll move on to 5 stars. Your 5-star heroes will be in your top end play. And this is going to be kind of towards the end of the game for you guys, or ending of the game. The game never ends, but the end of the game, to where you're ready to move on to a higher level alliance, higher level of play of game. People have been following me now. If you've been following from day one, you should be about at 20. I'd say 15 to 25 stars. You could be less if you just like kind of casually play, and no big deal. No judgment here from that. It's not a big deal. I currently have crazy amounts of 5 stars. I'm working on now a 3rd purple team, because that's what has been given to me. So I'll probably be developing a 3rd purple team here shortly, and I'll be running that for raids, or for wars and raids, and looking forward to that. The goal now, with the way the meta shifts, is the 5 stars control the tank meta for war. Right now we're in a Telluria meta. Before we were in a Kutchin, and we were in a Ursina meta. And prior to Ursina and Kutchin, we were in a yellow star Gwen meta. After Gwen, I think what they were trying to shift to was a blue meta with Aegir. And if you were to ask anybody who has a red Black Knight would be the red tank meta, followed behind Gravemaker and possibly Queen of Hearts. So this is where your tank majority comes from. And what I mean by that is, if let's say we're a collective, we want to all run the same tanks for war. This is where the hero meta comes. And this is why multiple of them come in handy. So if you were to run, let's say a starting alliance comes up and they're running blue tanks. A lot of starting alliances run blue tanks because a lot of them got a gear, or they have a blue snipers. Blue snipers come off all the time. You don't have a 5-star blue. This is where your epic will come in handy, and you would run possibly a Boral as your blue tank. And Boral's pretty formidable blue tank. If you're in green right now, you can make a play for Gatorus. You can make a play for possibly Gobbler. He's kind of low on his stats. But you would have another 4-star to back up where your green tanks were, and they would approve that. Melindor I probably wouldn't do. He's pretty low on health. But you know what I'm saying. It's just an example. But heroes are really important. This is where the game goes. I think number 3 is going to surprise you guys. Number 3 is... Hold up. I messed up because they didn't have it. Let me see here. I think I'm going to hit the wrong one. I think I am. Well, I think it's going to be this one. Yeah, I was right. Okay, good. Number 3 is materials. I was hoping this was going to be a surprise for you guys. All right, cool. Let me order these up. I missed. I don't know if they glitched or whatever. There we go. All right. Materials is important. So... and a lot of this gets overlooked. A lot of people overlook materials. I think this is the one that's slept on the most. After you have your base and you have your heroes, it's time to go get materials. Because materials goes with the next one, and also goes with the other 2. You start your base, you get that capped. You start on your heroes, you get that capped. And then next time, it's time to go for materials. And crafting materials is a key thing. We are now in a 4-star range of Titan parts. As you can see, you have the Titan heart, the skull, you have the tails, the spine, and you have the eggs, the eyes, and then you have the feathers, and you have the beak, and I think you have the fang, and you have the shield. And so you have a lot of Titan eyes. Let's see, I said Titan eyes, I believe. So you have a lot of different items, but getting back to more basic stuff, flint steel, hardwood, as you can see I'm kind of low on, dust, roots, dragon bones, the nuggets. I'm low on the nuggets right now because I've been blowing up nuggets. I'll probably get back high on them pretty soon. Crystals, metal ore. At first you start off with common herbs, and then you go to potent leaves. The feathers. Crude iron. Crude iron is a big one. Bones, large bones, and leather straps. Leather strips. I'm trying to say strips. Yeah, strips. These are major things, and what they make are the items you're going to use for Titans, the items you're going to use for PvE, the items you're going to use for events, the items that will get you through season 3, season 2, season 1. People get still probably getting stuck on the Dark Lord. This is where the unstuck comes. It comes from your items. Craft your items from materials, but to get materials, you gotta have to play, and that's where I think one of the bigger things comes from. Um, the materials. Materials comes from playing. Um, you got to play to death. This is where loot ticks are so important. This is where like farming, the word farming comes into play. For those who are just starting off and you're like, well, I don't know what this means. I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. A great place to start farming is 8-7 season 1. For those that are a little more advanced past that, a great area to farm is stage 1, season 2, stage Providence 1, stage 9. I like that. That's a book bag farm spot. Another spot for the people the more advanced, I love 2410. I love 27.9. I love 27.10. And currently I'm farming in season 3 for the special boards to get the gems from that, and then also hunting down the icons. The things that are designed in the game for you, like for instance, and I'll just kind of go over this, the missions. The missions are actually designed to get you more materials if you kind of think about it. Chasing these icons that will be popped up, like for instance, the first ones were the first ones for season 3 were the hog and the troll, and then after the hog and troll were the axes and the rhino, and then after that was the dwarves and the ram head. But then if you go break down to season 2, you had the parrot, you had the moth, and you had the little dinosaur dude, and you had the skulls, and then you got the foxes and the dragon guy, and then you got the weird looking turtle, and you had the skull guy, and then of course you had the completion, which was Ariel and Poseidon, and then you get gators from fighting gators, and then you got the droid from fighting the ones around Poseidon. But these things are kind of designed in the game to get your materials up. If you guys are finding yourself stuck or bored in the game, go take some time, farm these levels, get some icons up, and get those materials up. Materials actually make you better because for materials you can get these battle items. You have maximum amount of stuff. Now I'm sitting here pretty low right now. I recently did the event and got 109th. Really ticked off about that, and that's why that war was so bad. But as you can see, the turtle banners and the minor mana pots are up, and the antidotes are up, and I still have my arrows up a little bit for my Titan hits. Some of these other items you're going to be making for epic events, for the rare event, and for legendary event, and I said that backwards. But for instance, the legendary event, you'd want to go with dragon attacks, bombs, axes, and then you'd want the super mana pots. So like all these are in a row. You're not going to get these things without farming materials. That's why materials is so hard. And I think it's more important than the next two. And I think it comes right after heroes because you're going to need the heroes to take to go get those materials. Also, materials is covered as ham and iron. Ham and iron work everything else. They work the base, they work the other stuff. Well, you got to start the base first, get the heroes, and then go get the materials to get back to the base and back to the heroes. So they're kind of a cycle. I think all three really go together. They are probably the holy trinity, I think, of the game right now. A lot of people getting stuck on bases. Materials will get you past the bases. And the reason materials get you past the base would be my number 4, which is going to be items. Items is going to be what happens from the materials. So when you're getting your items, such as your battle items, this is the stuff that gets you through the Titans and the PvE, and also through the events that you guys can beat. In the rare event, I think the highest stuff you can take is 2-star. So you're going to stop at axes. So for instance, let's say you want to compete in a 2-star. You do axes, you've got your mana pots, you've got your arrows, and then you've got your other mana pots or some healing. You've got all that stuff ready to go. This is perfect. So this will get you right through that rare event right there. When it comes to epic, this cap is a 3-star. So you're going to stop with the bombs. bombs and super antidotes. Heads up, items. The biggest waste of time item is super antidote. Don't build a super antidote. It comes in handy for if you need extra healing, but super antidote is the worst item in the game. Antidotes works just fine. They take off the same amount of debuffs as the super antidote. Don't ask why I have so many. But at one point, I was actually crafting these things. Do not waste your time crafting these. Let them come to you. When they come to you from missions and clears, they work out pretty good. This is the biggest waste of crap. This is the biggest waste of time item. Um, Another item that I think a lot of people bypass is Revive Scroll and Miracle Scroll. And the reason I say they bypass this is because these two items right there are designed to get you through the board, so you don't have to use the give up or come back to the game for 75 gems. Um, Revive Scroll and Miracle Scroll will get you through uh, boss battles that you can't beat, and if you have your items ready to go, you can possibly come back from healing or what you got with other items. Items can't be spoken about enough. Um, Let me see. Another part of the items I would say would be considered. That's technically considered materials. All right, so that's what I would consider. Like definitely these things right here. Like I use them all the time. You use items every day, especially if you're really dominating on your Titan. Um, from there we will move over to. I know I spent a lot of time on items. I probably could have spent more time on them, but I feel like we've kind of beat it in the head with the materials part too. Troops. Troops are something that people ask me about all the time. They're only 2-star, 3-star, 4-star troops you need to keep. Okay, and there's only 4 total troops you need to keep. And I'm going to go backwards and move forward. First, the only 2-star, excuse me, the only 4-star troops you need to keep are both. You need to keep manas and you need to keep the tank troop. For instance, this is considered a green mana troop because it gives you increased mana bonus right there. And then you have a tank troop. This is considered a tank troop, and the reason you would say it's a tank troop because it actually has bonus health and it has more defense on it, and they have crit always. And as you can see, the defense is high right there at 17, and this one's at level 25. We go to that tank troop. The defense at 17. It's only at level 4. This is a tank troop. Current meta, I would recommend going a four mana troops for each color. So for instance, you need 4 of the mana troops, which is any one that gives you more mana. So you need 4 of these greens. And I would recommend keeping 2 of the tank troops as of right now. And they come in handy kind of later in the game. I'm not even at the stage of the game where the tank troops are benefiting me right now. And that's the reason that is because I do not have my set of 30 level troops. I don't even have that part of it, and I'll see where the tank troop comes in after I get to that point, and I'll share that with you in a later video when I get there. So those are the 2 4-star troops you need to keep. Again, 4 mana and I would say 2 tank. And if you're ambitious, go with 5 mana and 2 tank. And the reason I say 5 if you're ambitious is if you play a lot of mono. If you play a lot of mono, you need to go with 5 mana and then maybe 2 tank. The reason I recommend 4 minimum because I play a lot of 4-1 personally, but also for the power level of 4 of the same color hero on your team versus the 3-2 or the rainbow or the 3-1-1 or 2-1-1. So this is why I recommend multiple of them is to get your power up, and then also with the mana troop is getting the special faster. This is really good for war and raiding. And that's what I really enjoy in the game. I enjoy war and raiding. The tank troop you might use for your defenses, and you might put it on your tank. So, for instance, we've got Telluria right now. Telluria increases her defense, increases her health, which increases the health on her minions. Then she's going to be, the minions are beefier, and she's beefier, and she can take more abuse before she goes off. And then when she goes off, and she goes off again, she's harder to come back and kill. And that's how the tank troop works, but it also works against your favor because you don't have as much mana speed. So then now your Telluria doesn't go off all the time, and her special is slower going off. So that's the 2 4-star troops. As far as 3-star troops, people will argue with me on this because there are 3-star tank troops and 3-star attack troops. And the way you difference between these two is this is your, no, that's not it. Let me see. This is the attack troop, and I believe that's the tank troop. Let me make sure. Nope. I can't think of which one it is. I think it might be the trees. I'm gonna have to look at the green ones. But this troop right here, the 3-star with the higher attack at 1, that's the one I keep. Personally, me, I keep the higher attack troop from the 3-star and the 2-star. So we'll leave it at that. The high attack troop right here. So anyone that starts at level 1 with a 13 increased attack to your from the troop, that's the one I keep for the 3 stars. I recommend keeping, again, 5 of these for the mono team setup for the events, and then also if you're getting new troops. This one I keep 5 because I run 5 on my mono teams for events for epic, because on epic you can only take a 3-star troop or higher. That's the troop I recommend. Some people, comes with a crit. This one has the healing bonus in the crit, and then this one has the healing bonus with health. So that's why I don't necessarily, I mean, I'm getting the crit and I'm getting health and I'm getting defense here versus I'm getting healing bonus in crit here, and versus I'm getting just healing bonus here. Well, it's not a lot of healing necessarily that I always need when it comes to these events, but I always do need to hit harder no matter what. So that's why I recommend just the attack up troop for the for the 3-star. For the 2-star, let me see. I'll do a different color for 2-star. We'll go with the purple because I think I have all of them. So for the purple one, I think this is the one with the higher attack, and then 10%, and then this one is at 5. So the higher attack for the 2-star, and again, I recommend 5 of these only for the event. It's the one with the higher attack. The 10% increased attack is going to give you more damage on your tile versus the 5% increase. And as you can see, they don't even have a 3rd slot. Now, the difference between them, we got 4% healing and 6% defense versus you have 9% defense and 6% health. So this would probably be more of the tank troop, and this would be more of the offensive troop. At a rare level, at the 2-star level, I don't think it makes that much difference. I think the attack is more important. That's the ones I keep. I recommend 5 again for the rare events. So because you're running mono teams there. That's what I recommend for the troops. It's only 4 troops you need to keep. Some people might argue, and the one I was going to say what they argue, I believe, is this guy right here. Because I think it's either this guy or, I don't want to feed. Let me see. Let me see one more. Versus, let me do that. Let me see, back out. Let me see that one. Yeah, no, that's a 2%. It's one of these, I think this tree guy, I think he gets a bonus increase on the health and the healing. So what happens is you can get your health up really, really high from this guy. I think this style of troop, and that's in all colors because they're all built the same. And what happens is the health is higher on this one than the attack troop. But don't quote me on that. I'll have to look into it. I know somebody who has a level 20 of them. One more thing about the troops that a lot of people ask is how to level troops, when to stop leveling, and what to do with them. Okay, so in this super fast era of war, raids, and just playing the game, it's just so much faster. The mana troops come into handy. I currently run 4-1 a lot, so the mana troops are more important to me than anything else. I run mana on my 1, I run mana on my 4. So currently I am working on green 4 mana troops. I currently have a 25, an 11, an 11, and a 5 crit troop, right? Okay, in my yellow I have a 24, an 11, 11, and 11. Red I have a 25, 11, 11, 11. Purple I have a 25, 11, 11, 11. Blue I have a 30, got a little ambitious there. 11, 5, 5, and then I have another 5, and I have another 4 for the tank troop. Okay. So what does all that mean? So on a 4-1, we have 4 troops that are over level 11. Well, at level 11, you have a 9% mana increase. Okay, versus at this 24, it's a 13%. Versus at this 30, it's a 15%, which is the max. So, at 9% mana increase, your speed on your very fast hero becomes 3 ghosts. On your fast, I believe, 4.5, I think, become ghost, and that's a special up. So what happens is, from 3 ghost tile, my very fast is ready to rock and roll at 11. Now, if he wasn't 11, it would take 4 tile. It increases your speed on your fast. Now, going against the defensive team, we're looking at 6 tile, and my very fast is ready to go off. At a fast, it's 9 tile, and at a average, I believe it's 12 tile. So you have to make 12 you have to make 4 matches, 2 matches, and 3 matches for their speeds to go off. At slow, which I don't play a lot of, I believe it's 15 tile. It might be a little less because the percentages go up, but it's probably still going to be 5 matches because the tile goes down, but you have to. It does increase the speed. And what I'm saying is basically the higher percentage on the mana troop for the speed, which is, let's go here, right here, the 9%, the less tile you have to use to get the special off. And that's what we're trying to do with the mana troops. So that's the order I would level them in. People ask, what do I do with troops? Personally, get 4 of one color to 11 first. If you're ambitious and you're running a lot of mono, go 5 colors to 11. Don't worry about taking a troop past 11 until you have 4 or 5 of them. After that, then start working on your level 30 mana troop first, and then possibly working on your level 30 tank troop. That would be my ideology. That's what I'd recommend you do, especially in the way we play right now. And you might ask, why would I want to do a tank troop after that? Well, we have this thing called crit. So the crit is also going to go to 15%. On these troops as well. I don't know what levels they change. I don't believe it's the same as the mana, but I would imagine that at level 11 this would go up to 9%. I could be, don't quote me on that, could be wrong. So, and what that means, and another thing too is that you're getting the defense and the health on this one. So your health is going to increase by, I want to say, something crazy. I don't know what the max on the health is. Let me see if they have it here. So defense was 18. I don't think it's 18. I think it's higher. So the defense and the health on the tank troop, it'll be higher. And so your defense and health on that hero will be stronger. And that might come to play against, like, for instance, your true tanks like Boss Wolf, like Gwen, like Aegir, like Telluria, Black Knight. You might want them to be beefed up, juiced up, even with 20 emblems, because it might not matter that they don't go as off as fast because you just can't kill them because they're so strong. Flip side to the defense troop or the tank troop and the mana troop is the mana troops do not increase your score because they do not increase your health percentage on your war team. So whereas you're worth 50 points base, your value can go down with mana troops to like a 48 versus with tank troops you can go as high as I've seen 56, and maybe 54. 55, 54 is more normal to see, and that's people that have these higher health troops from the mana troop, from the tank troops, excuse me. So for this troop right here, for instance, the tree, this guy right here, the Minotaurs right there, and then the blue guy with the big shield, they will increase your health of your team, your defensive team, and that will increase your score on your war. Now, people ask how to level them. So that's why that's the order, and that's why you level them. That's my thought process. Increase that special skill go off because we're such a fast time. So how to level a troop. And we're going to actually do this right now. So first things first is these troops, you want to lock them down. Make sure you lock them. And how you do that is you can click right there and go back and forth. And like blank like that, it's unlocked. White, it's locked. It's good to go. So like for instance, this troop, he's unlocked because I already have my 4. I got 1, 2, 3, and this one's my 4th. So that one's locked. From here, you can put 10 in of whatever you want to. The problem with that is, and you might say, oh man, I can jump up to level 4. Cost. If I do that, the cost of this troop goes up quite a bit. Now, right there, that's level 4, but the next time I level him up, he's going to be probably about 300k hams, something like that. We're not going to do that. We're actually going to go down here to these plethora of 1-stars I have. See all these 1-star troops? Get rid of these guys first, especially going to 11 first. It's not as bad. When you get past 11, trust me, them hams start to creep up on you. I have spent 900k leveling not even a level for those 30 level troops. So you have to be careful. This is the way you want to go. Start in a 1-star because you want to save these guys, excuse me, these 4-stars and these 4-stars and these 3-stars for the higher levels. Because see, I can do that. That's almost a level. If I do one more, now I'm at level 2. But now when you get to level 29, that's when you're going to want that 400%, that 600% experience. So what I'll recommend you do is, again, start with level 1. So yeah, you're like, oh man, it's going to take me forever at level 1. Okay, so it takes you forever. Do level 1. Do all these guys. Guess what? Same amount of experience. Look at that. 110k, but I'm almost to level 2. Takes a little bit. And yeah, it's tedious and time consuming. And yes, when I get closer to the level I'm trying to achieve and it's close to war, do I tap into my 3 and 2 stars? Absolutely. But only because it's goal driven to get better for the wars. So this is what you want to do. And see, I still was at 110 hams, so it's not that bad. And I'm at level 2. But now I'm at level 2, and watch how much it drastically increased. If you think the increase is drastic here, look at that. Already jumped up a 50k. It's going to jump up probably another 50k here in a minute. So now we're at level 3, and we're good to go. Well, now watch what happens here. Level 3, and we're going to jump up drastically again. So we're already jumped up a little bit more. Let me see. That would have been 40. So we jumped up 60k hams this time almost. You know, it's like 55k or something like that if I had to do the math. But like, we're right there. And so this is going to be level 3, not even level 4. You know, but at least at level 4, I'll get there. Now, a trick here would be to do this. Here's another trick way to do it. A lot of people do this. Get to, if you're tedious, I'm not that tedious. Get to where you're, so I'll take him out. Get to where you're as close as possible to that level, and then you'll have the same amount of hams for the next level. That really helps when you get closer to the high boards. So like, for instance, what you do is, let's say you get all the way to, let's say you get all the way to a smidget like that of experience. You get that close to it, you stop. You get that close with maybe 4 heroes, you stop. Then you take the rest of the heroes that you got and you boost it past it, because you can actually use less hams to put more heroes in. So let's say it took 3 heroes to get to this level right here, right? Okay. So then we'll get another 10 heroes at 220k versus getting them at the next tier level, which will be higher up. And that's another way you can do it. Now that's tedious. You need to pay attention when you do stuff like that. And I mean, I recommend it at the high levels to try it. I've done it before. When I get a little bit past 15, I'm not blowing through so many hams. I usually do it. But that's what you do with the troops, and that's a trick to get your troops up a little higher. Start with your 1-stars first, especially going all the way to, I'd say even level 20. I know it's costly, but troops, 1 and 3-star, excuse me, 1 and 2-star troops are free, and 3 stars can come from silver coins. Blow through your 1-stars and 2-stars first, and then get to your higher ones. I'm telling you, you're going to save a lot of time and energy. And gems by pulling from troops. I don't recommend troop pulls until you absolutely just have to have one up. Have I done them before? Absolutely. But you in this game, free to play, you will get 4-star heroes from gold coins. It's inevitable. You're gonna get them. I think it's a 10% chance. So it's way, you know, every 10 gold coins you should get at least 1 4-star. And they actually put more gold coins for troops in the game. Another thing with the troops, and the last thing I'll say before I get off this video, because I've been ranting for a while, here right here, defensive team. The last part of after you get to the level 80 max, the level 20 on the essential materials, is the troop will boost your team total team power. I have not broken the 46. I imagine this one and this one will probably put me about 46, 80, and then the rest is going to be the troops. The troops need to be at 27, 29, and to 30 here soon. But I won't work on any of those until I get blue ready to go and green ready to go for the 11s. And blue's going to take me the longest because it's the least amount of troops I actually have. Because I did that 30 first. I recommend going to 411 or 511 first before the 30, hands down. Guys, this is my back to basics video. I will be posting this hopefully on Thursday. Have a great weekend. I did 3 videos in a row today. Woo, a lot of empires and puzzles. But Killa out. Peace.